Nice and clear, good. Hi, welcome. If this is your first Pointe Barre, I'm Kate. I'm the director of my ballet coach, and this bar, even though it is beginner/improver, it's not for complete beginners. So you will need to have done something with a teacher before you do this bar. So even if you've just done a couple of classes looking at like what a releve is, maybe even what an Sharpé is, that's great. I just don't want this to be your very first class on Pointe. But once you do know the simple things like releves, maybe an eleves a rise with straight legs, a Sharpé, and then even some fondues, you should find this class easy enough to follow along with. If you do want a more advanced Pointe Barre, in an hour's time, there'll be an intermediate/advanced Pointe Barre. As always, if you're injured or feeling unwell, feeling a bit dizzy, then I'm going to have to leave it up to you to decide whether or not you're fit enough to do this bar, but it's not going to be too difficult. It's not going to be too challenging. Simple exercises at the bar, always holding onto the bar. We're not going to do anything with hands off unless you choose to take a balance with hands off. Nothing in the centre. Do make sure that your pointe shoes are properly fitted and supportive, so make sure they're not too soft and your ribbons are tied properly. We will do a little warm-up just to get comfortable in the pointe shoes, but as always this bar is more beneficial if you've done a bit more of a warm-up beforehand, so I would recommend doing just like a shortish bar on demi-pointe beforehand. So let's get started. As always, I use music from the wonderful Nate Fifield, and this is his Hollywood Hits Volume 3 album. We're going to start with our warm-up. So feet in parallel position. Take a moment to find your posture. So backs of the legs squeezing, abs engaged, tummy buttons the back of your spine, rib cage closed, shoulders down, neck nice and long, and then feeling of air underneath the armpits, so we're not squeezing those arms into our sides. We start with pony trot, so we lift the right foot and rise. Then we switch and rise. 3, rise and 4. Same with a bend. Down and up, making sure your alignment is over the big toe every time. You never go onto the baby toe. That's 3 and 4. We close. Now we're going to roll up through the feet. So bending knees directly over the toes, rolling up, weight on the big toe and second toe, stretch and hold. Take a moment here to make sure that the platform is flat on the floor, that there's no claw happening, we're not clawing the toes, pushing over the shoe, and we're not leaning too much towards our bar, so you should have a nice straight line from the tips of the toes right to the top of the head. And roll down, and then we reverse this, so back up onto pointe, a little bend, roll through the shoe and open to first. We have tondus, tondu front, tondu side, tondu back, demi-plie, switch, front, side, back, demi-plie, a big side stretch starting with the right arm. Shoulders down, neck long. We're going to pivot the back leg inwards. You can add a twist here if you like. And then we're going to stretch out the hamstrings. Roll back up. Repeat the same to the left. Pivot the back leg. Optional twist. Press the back heel down into the floor. So we're also getting a calf stretch here. And roll back up. We're then going to stretch the foot. So feet in parallel. Bring the right foot across. Knees pointing ahead, we're not here, and then bending the back knee so that the knee presses into your calf muscle. You're going to feel a stretch at the top of the foot here. And as always, I'll keep repeating it, never over the baby toe. See, this is a sickle, and this is going to hurt my ankle. So over the big toe. Press back into a calf stretch, and the other leg, gentle stretch through the shoe, and heel down for our calf stretch. Plie, rotate the feet to first. Plie, releve, pushing over the shoe. It's much harder to get the platform flat when we're turned out compared to when we're parallel. So rotate from the backs of the legs, lift the hips and push over the shoe. And then one hand off for your balance, or like I said before, 2 hands on the bar and just focus on what the legs and the core is doing. If you do want that extra challenge, take one hand off. You could then also maybe just have like one finger on the bar for an even bigger challenge, or even just the baby finger. That's even harder. Or if you are an advanced dancer and you're doing this bar just to maybe warm up, both hands off, focus those eyes, and then a nice big plie to finish. Okay, you don't have to remember that. I will shout it all out and I'll do it with you. Let's go with the music. Feet in parallel. Backs of the legs, abs. Right, rise, switch, rise. 3, rise and 4. Same with the bend. Both bend, both stretch. 2, 3, keep holding that core. 4, lower the heel. Bend, roll up, stretch. Grow tall, lengthen through the spine as you roll through the demi-point. And reverse. Up onto point, hold your balance here, strong core. Little bend, roll through the shoe, open to first. We have our tondues, lead with the heel. Lift the hips, stay on your supporting leg. Demi-plie, knees over toes. And left leg. Through the demi-point, articulate the metatarsals. Big stretch with the right arm. And twist. Going all the way forward, staying here. Roll up. Same with the left. Big stretch. Pivot the back leg. Twist. And forwards. Roll up. And we close to parallel. Right foot stretches. I'll show you from the side. And push back into your calf stretch. Other leg. Calf stretch. Feet in parallel. Plie, rotate from the hips. Plie, releve. Push over the shoe. Nice strong abs. Your choice of how you take your balance. Focus on the stillness of the ankles. Weight on the big toe and the baby toe. Big toe and second toe, never the baby toe. And relax. Lovely. We're going to do some tondues and pushing over the shoe just to really feel comfortable in the shoes. Often when you just put them on, they can feel quite hard and stiff. So just some tondues to wake up the metatarsals as well. This is going to be really slow, so we've got all the time to think about articulating the foot and the shoe. Starting in first position, squeezing the inside thighs together. We shift the weight across. Lead with the heel, keep the demi-point stuck onto the floor right until you tondu, and close. Tondu, we have a lunge, so if I show you from the side, I'm keeping my back leg straight, and I'm pushing my hips over onto the front leg, so I'm stretching the top of the foot. Point, demi-point, demi-point, and close. So, demi-point, demi-point, close, demi-plie. So in this demi-point, you're articulating the metatarsals there, and you're trying to bend the shoe. In the beginning, it might feel impossible, especially if you've got brand new shoes, because the shoe can be so hard, but try to keep that arch lifted as if you're pointing the foot, and then just wiggle the toes and use the floor there to help you. We do the same to the sides, so tondu, press the metatarsals into the floor, tondu, lunge, shifting those hips across, point, demi, demi, close, plie, and then the same on the left, one tondu, one lunge, two demi points, close, plie, and the same to the side, shift the hips across, demi, demi, plie. Then we're going to plie, roll up, back down. Notice I've got the plie still. Roll up, back down, and third time, Now we stretch the legs, and now you should feel like you've got a really good stretch going through the ankle, and holding yourself on point should be a bit easier. We go for a balance again. You choose where you want the arms to be, it's up to you, and a nice big plie to finish. Okay, let's go with the music. Feet in first, Fondues. Inside thighs squeezing, and Fondue, close, Fondue, stretch, demi-point, demi-point, close demi-plie, to the side, keep the turn out, close, Fondue, lunge, demi-point, demi-point, close, demi-plie, swapping sides, Fondue, close, big lunge, and demi-point, demi-point, close, demi-plie. Last one, passing through the demi-point, and Fondue, stretch over the big toe, demi-point, demi-point, close, demi-plie. And get ready, roll up over the big toe, heels back down, break in the shoe, and back down, last one, heels forward, stretch, 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 pulling up tall, test your balance, arms wherever you want them to be, nice still ankles, and a plie to finish, good. Okay, let's move on to some releves and eleves. Yes, this is the one. Okay, so on a similar theme of working the demi-point and stretching over the top of the foot, we start in first position, and I'll just, as a reminder, a releve is a rise coming from a plie, and eleve is a rise for straight legs, straight knees. So feet in first, we have 2 releves, 2 eleves. 1 and push, 2 and push, elevate 3 and 4. Then we have 1 demi-point. It's hard. Feel free to hold onto the bar here because you're holding your strength, keeping yourself up whilst rocking off point, using the toes to push you back on again, and then we're just going to bend the knees, stretch the foot, heels down, and a Fondue into a small second, a narrow second. Same again, plie releve 1, plie releve 2, eleve, eleve, demi-point 1, bend the knees, just a small amount, not huge, just a little bit, heels down, point close to 5th. Nice and simple in 5th, we just have 3 releves, and then a coupe, put the foot behind, staying on point. So that's 1, squeeze, 2, squeeze, 3, squeeze, pick it up, put it behind. 1 with the other foot, 2, 3, pick it up, put it behind. Get comfortable, you might have to do a little step forwards if you've gone too far away from the bar. And then make sure your 5th position is really tight. So no gaps between the feet, not here. That's like somewhere between 4th and 5th. Squeeze the feet together and pay attention to the back leg, make sure it's not turning in. So both legs turned out equally. And then again, weight over the big toes, so no weight on the baby toes, and your choice of arms for your balance. And then we're going to swap legs and test our balance again. And this is actually a really important part. Pay attention to the descent. So you're going to slide that front foot down, lower yourself on the back leg, and finish in 3rd or 5th. And the reason why it's important is because you cannot come down like that. Even though that's the easiest way to come down, you've got to control it. And often in ballet, the descent for movement can be one of the most beautiful parts if it's done well. So you're pulling up tall, you're pulling in away from where the legs want to take you, and you come down smoothly and softly. And it involves the strength of the back leg, because it's essentially the back leg that's lowering you down, and the front leg is just moving out of the way. Okay, let's do our releves and eleves. Off we go. 1, push, 2, elevate 1, elevate 2, demi-point, little bend, heels down, Tongji small seconds, releve, 2, elevate, demi-point, little bends, heels down, close fifth, 3, squeeze, use the glutes, 3, up, puts it behind, 1, 2, 3, big hips up, puts it behind, and get comfortable, pull up tall, squeeze the feet together, make sure the weight's on the big toes, the platform is flat on the floor, nice still ankles, swap over, squeeze the feet together, turn out both legs, and then slide that foot down, lower straight knees, and then plie. Good. Okay, so we've got some échappés now. For our échappés, we're going to look at some ombuates. We're going to look at some, pretty much ombuates, more ombuates, and then échappés. And our échappés are going to go to fourth and second, closing as we change the feet. So let's start. Right foot front, plie, releve, pulling up tall. You're going to lift the front leg off the floor and close. I know that feels scary when we're new on points because it even feels scary with our weight on 2 feet, let alone just 1 foot. If you've got the bar in front of you, you should know your placement on the back leg. It's going to stay over the big toe and the second toe, never here. And you're going to squeeze the glute of the supporting side with a nice strong core. And it's just hovering off the floor, it's only small. So we have 1 to the front, 1 to the side, close behind, 1 to the back, and 1 to the side. Now your left leg is going to come front, your right leg is going to come front, hitting that 5th position every time. Right leg goes back, left leg goes back. So the pattern is front, side, back, side, left leg, left leg. Then we have a plie échappé, fourth and hold. The reason why we're holding is because I want you to take a moment to check your alignment. The baby toe of the back foot doesn't touch the floor, otherwise we do end up with a sickle. I know it feels counterintuitive, you want to have a flat platform, but if you really turn out the leg, you're going to have the weight mainly on the big toe. Hips are lifted, of course, we're not here, and turning out that front heel as much as you can. So to échappé fourth, check your alignment. Échappé second, check your alignment. Change the feet back to fourth, and then a releve fifth so that we can repeat everything a second time. So that's front, side, back, side, right leg, right leg. Échappé fourth and hold. Check your alignment. Second, push over the shoe. Fourth, we've changed the feet. And fifth to finish. We have another balance. Change it up this time. If you took the arms to first last time, maybe take 1 to fifth or even to second. And then we're going to swap the other foot front. Put it back again and lower down with the other foot front this time. So we're working on that descent of both sides. Okay, feet in fifth, right foot front. Starting with our front side, back side, ombuate, front back, back front. Off we go. Releve. Front, side, back, side. Left leg, left leg. Échappé fourth and hold. Second hold. We're going to change the feet. Fourth and hold. Releve fifth. Other side, front, side, back, side, right leg, right leg. Échappé fourth, cross the tops of the legs. Second, push over the shoe. Fourth, releve fifth. Focus the eyes, find your balance. Soft fingers. No leaning towards the bar. Stay stacked on the feet. And let's swap the feet. Swap the feet again. And release that front leg, lower down on the back leg. Okay. Good. Give the feet a wiggle if they need it. Next up, we have some glissades. With our feet in first, hands on the bar. We're going to start with the right leg. 3, 2, 1, plie. Again, 3, 2, 1, plie. Notice how I'm using the metatarsals, finding that resistance against the floor every time I do the glissade. 3, 2, 1, no plie. Right leg, left leg, right leg. We switch sides. 3, 2, 1, plie, and 3, 2, brushing the foot, brush, 3, 2, 1, sorry, no plie on the third time, 1, 2, and 3. We're not going to take a balance on a rise, we're going to pick up the right foot front to cul de pied devant, arms off to first position. It's so much harder than it looks, and swapping over, keep that rotation, push the knee back, heel forward, hands off, and plie to finish. Okay. Feet in first, off we go with our glissades. Right foot. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, really dynamic with the toes. 3, 2, 1, straight legs. Right, left, right. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Swipe. 3, 2, 1. Straight legs. Left, right, left. And test your balance. Pulling out tall on the supporting side. No sickles here. Let's swap over. Harder in point shoes than on flat shoes. Okay, let's have a look at a fondue. So this descent from fifth position that we were talking about before, we're going to practice it so much right now. And it's really important. Not only are you practicing the end of an exercise, which is important, you're also really strengthening the feet, the metatarsals, you're working on the turnout and the adductors as well. So it's a really good exercise in itself, just working on lowering down with control and strength and grace. So in our exercise, we have right foot front, feet in fifth or third. We're going to do a coupe with the right leg close, coupe with the left leg close. Fondue to the front, put the toe on the floor, bounce, bounce, susu, close front. We're going to hold and then slowly lower down. We go again, front and close and back and close and bounce, close behind. Hold your balance here. And now, because the foot's gone to the back, we're going to slide that back foot down, ready to go on the left side. Left leg close, right leg close, fondue to the front and a bounce, bounce, susu, and hold, lower down, fondue, 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 stretch, bounce, bounce, put it behind and stay. Now we've got our balance. Do something different with the arms. Maybe you could try moving one arm as the other holds, or not even up to fifth, just first, second, lower, and then we swap the feet and challenge yourself with the other arm. And then of course, it's there again. We're going to be pros at it by the end. Okay, let's go with the music. Right foot front. Fondue. Open out the knees, heel forward. Fondue close. Fondue stretch. Bounce, bounce, susu. Hold. And now release. Come down slowly. Same to the side. Heel off the foot. Fondue. Fondue. Fondue stretch. Double bounce. Susu, close behind. Hold. Find that fifth position. Strong supporting leg. Slide the back foot down. Left leg, same again. Front. And back. Push the knees back, heel forward. Fondue to the front. Double bounce. Squeeze, susu. Squeeze the legs together. Inside thighs working hard. Release the front leg. Lower down. Nearly there, one more. Front. And back. Fondue, side shoulders are down. Double bounce. Close behind. Hold. Going to test your balance here. So optional arms. And swap the feet. And one more to finish. Good. Give the feet a wiggle. We have some coupe piqués, coupe kind of half ballonets, and some paddle bourrées. Okay, so let's talk through it. A ballonet starts in a coupe. As one leg darts down to the floor, the other leg goes out to the side, and then that pointed leg replaces the other and ends up in a coupe, so that you can keep repeating this one side to the other. That's your ballonet. We're not going to do that because this is a very advanced step, but we're going to build up to it. So we're going to start with let's have right foot front. Coupe with the left leg, and now you're going to push the back leg into the floor, pick up the front leg, and drop it back down to where you were. So it's a bit like a limp, like you're limping, yeah? So we're practicing shifting the weight from one leg onto the other, and then dropping it back down again. So we have one where the foot comes to cul de pied devant, one where the leg goes out to the side and closes back where it was, one more where the foot comes to cul de pied devant, it closes back where it was, and then we have a pas de bourrée to switch the feet. And we go again. One where we pick up the front foot, put it back down. One where the front foot goes out to the side, put it back down. Both knees bend. One where we pick up the front foot, put it back down, and a pas de bourrée. Close. We're going to take a balance now in fourth position. So like we talked about before, make sure both legs are rotated. If you're struggling to push over the shoe, go for a smaller fourth, you'll find it easier. And make sure the legs are really crossed at the top, and then we'll swap sides. So that's coupe to the ankle bone, put it back where it was. To the side, put it back where it was. To the ankle bone, put it back where it was. Pas de bourrée. Same on the other leg. And then a balance in fourth on both sides. Off we go. Feet in fifth. A coupe with the left leg on the introduction. And up, lower, side, lower, up, lower. Pas de bourrée, we swap the feet. Up, lower, to the side. Rotate the leg. Up, lower. Pas de bourrée, behind, side, front. Open the legs to a small four. Hands off. Or one hand off. Just maybe the two index fingers supporting you. And swap the feet. Nice still ankles, crossing the tops of the legs. Bring the right foot front again. And slide down to finish. Good. Give the legs a stretch and a shake. They've worked hard today. And the other leg. Good. Well, that concludes our bar. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, I recommend that you do a little stretch after your bar. So take your point shoes off. You can either do this stretch, just sitting on your heels, stretching out the demi-point, shoes off, or you can do this stretch, demi-point, heel against the wall, and then slowly try and straighten your knee so that you're stretching the top of the foot. Or you can just get a nice like tennis ball or a massage ball and roll out the plantar fascia. That always feels quite nice. Yeah, and if you're a My Ballet Coach member, as always, let me know if you're working on anything in particular, and I'll try and incorporate it into the bar. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you next week. Bye.